Yo, yo, yo. What's good, y'all? We live. What's happening with y'all? You know it's the Mad Gamer back with another one. Start bringing these live streams to y'all. Yo, we live? Recording? I'm cancerous. So when I did, you wouldn't want to answer this. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. Yeah, I mean, the biggest game releases of May. So let's check out what's coming out for May. Yeah, May?
Here, and you know what that means. The rent is due. But if you have any fun money left over after paying that, maybe you can spend it on one of the dozens of new video games releasing in the next 30 days and change. So here, without further ado, are May 2025's big
Tripping. Gotta get this joint right. Here we go. Now we're gonna gameplay it. Here we go. Alright, man, let's check out May's biggest games, y'all.
biggest game releases. On the first, Despelote is out for everything, and while this could conceivably be classified as a soccer game, it's more of a slice of life game about how much people were into soccer in Ecuador in 2001. If you don't really dig soccer and prefer digging holes in the ground,
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
that's too damn bad! Well, you're also in luck because Dig VR comes to PC VR and PlayStation 2 in this light
I seen this joint. This joint look kind of kiddie.
in the ground, retrieving stuff out of bodies of water, and accidentally wrecking somebody's patio furniture. That's also on MetaQuest.
Yo, are y'all feeling VR games? Cause I don't know. I got the whole VR setup, bro. I ain't even really been messing with them junks, bro. I ain't find a good game yet. Maybe Behemoth I might mess with, maybe.
Disgusting bathroom slang, it actually refers to the clever way this roguelite combines Tetris with strategy mechanics, with each dropping block effectively becoming new land in your kingdom. Or I guess duchy, rather. A duchy is like a kingdom, but it's run by a duke. I think you're a duke. Or at least drop a dookies. Heyo! On May 6th, Captain Blood comes to everything, a swashbuckling pirate action game, and the name might be right at home with plenty of other aggro, try-hard, violent-sounding video games that scandalize parents. It's actually
Yo, bro, why can't they ever do a pirate game right, bro? Why it always got to be like, you get what I'm saying? Like silly animation. Even that Skull and Bones, like it wasn't like a serious, crazy animation. Pirates was serious, bro. Pirates was serious. Oh, look at this.
This kind of experience.
Hell yeah. Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch 2.
Y'all cop? Y'all cop?
On the 8th, Bahamut and the Whack Whack Tree comes to PC, which is a 2D adventure game rooted in Arabian folklore, which may have the most fun-to-say title of any game coming out this month.
Man, these
Corporate
games.
greed and
Here we
stupidity
go.
resulted in that entire department being shut down a year later, stranding the entire development team. Well,
Here we
after
go. Let's look at some Doom, man.
just when
Dang.
you think you've ripped and torn until it was done, they pull you back in and they say, you call this done? There's clearly lots more ripping and tearing left to do. And that is exactly what is happening on May 15th in Doom the
May
Dark
15th,
Ages, a game
alright.
that is really hard to talk about without just yelling swear words at the top of my lungs, so I'm gonna do my best. This time around, Doom Guy's got a cape and he's got a shield blades on it. He's got a gun that grinds up skulls and shoots them at people like buckshot, and a dragon.
Yo, Doom was one of the first games I played, bro. Oh, he got a little dragon. But I don't know, man. We gotta see if they could do something different. I ain't beat the last two Dooms. I don't know about y'all.
In Doom games. I'm glad they exist. Anyway, that's on new gen and PC. Anyway, do you like roguelites? Do you like deck building? Do you like designing dungeons? Well, if you answered yes to any of these things,
Hell
you may
no.
be eligible for hours of enjoyment thanks to Into the Restless Ruins, and I'll snark about the abundance
Blades
of
of Fire. That Blades of
and
Fire.
Epic Game Store on PC. That's a pretty gnarly looking action RPG with an emphasis on weapon crafting, and it's from
That-
Mercury Steam, the Spanish studio that had a hand in the Castlevania Lords of Shadow games, as
Oh, no wonder why that joint looked fire, because they had a hand in that Castlevania. Now this game looked fire. It's not getting enough attention in my opinion. That Blades of Fire. I'm waiting for this joint to come out. Man, they don't be knowing, bro. Just like that Kazan. That Kazan ain't even really getting. People don't know about that Kazan yet. You know what I mean? This is a new Turtle. Oh, I did see this. This new
Friends.
Turtle game look
Last but
horrible.
not
You thought
all been
Ninja
winners,
Turtles
but-
1 was horrible.
and
Check
PC.
this out.
Still that day on PC is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown, which puts a turn-based strategic spin on stomping the foot, which sounds pretty cool, and honestly, they haven't all been winners, but I think it's safe to say that the steady trickle of TMNT games we've been getting over the past couple years is probably the most consistent it's been since the late 80s and early 90s, and I say
Bro, I didn't even
cowabunga
do a
to
video
that,
on
my
this
friends.
joint, bro.
Last but not least, on May 22nd is Zombie Army VR, which puts a more immersive headset-centric spin on Rebellion's Grindhouse spin-off of the Sniper Elite games, and you can eviscerate hordes of undead fascists up close and personal on PC.
Yo, them VR games are more fun. You can't, I don't know, in my opinion, you can't really stream a VR game. Oh, let's see this, because this is the remake I want to
Ghosts
see.
of Yotei are too historically accurate. Maybe it's time for a trip down memory lane with Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny. This gives Capcom's classic 2002 feudal Japanese action-adventure a nice glow-up along with some tweaks to controls and quality-of-life improvements, and it features things that did exist like Oda Nobunaga and Samurai, and also things that probably did not exist like
Joint look too old, bruh. Too old for me to mess with. Bitcraft Online, yeah. Alright, man, so that's it for May. I ain't see the Elden Ring. They ain't even show the Elden Ring, did they? Oh, here go the Elden Ring. Hell yeah. Gotta see that Elden Ring.
At least, if you'd rather whip some monsters, and if nothing tried and true FromSoft action RPG formula, and gives it a roguelite spin with more streamlined progression and a shrinking map of evil poison fog that you gotta contend with while scrambling around looking for resources. I know the 3-player co-op rubbed some folks the wrong way when it underwent a public network test, but from what I've gathered, it can also be played entirely solo, which probably makes it feel more akin to an open world Dead Cells than a medieval Fortnite.
I don't think you want to play this game by yourself though. Bruh, they not really mentioning with this game, bruh. You gotta like go through the joint quick, cause the smoke is closing on it. You gotta go through the whole game quick as hell. The smoke is closing on it. You gotta hurry up and get stronger throughout the game. Like, it's not, I don't think when you pick up the game again, it continues. Every time you play the game, it's like a new game, but you probably get to keep some stuff. They did a couple games like that. It's like a new, oh, I want to see this Lost Aside.
A whole new universe. There's Lost Soul Aside on PS5 and PC that day as well, which looks to sit well with the Devil May Cry crowd, though I regret to inform any fans of the recent Devil May Cry Netflix anime that it seems to be woefully lacking in Limp Bizkit solo, which probably makes it feel more akin to an open world Dead Cells than a medieval Fortnite Trios.
That Lost Soul Aside look crazy.
That's coming to everything that Elden Ring is presently on. And last but not least, if you'd rather whip some monster ass with large ornate weaponry in a whole new universe, there's Lost Soul Aside on PS5 and PC that day as well, which looks to sit well with the Devil May Cry crowd, though I regret to inform any fans of the recent Devil May Cry Netflix anime that it seems to be woefully lacking in Limp Bizkit. Then again, maybe the PC modding crowd will save the day and reskin the main dude to look like Wes Borland or something. Hey, could be Durst. On that note, it's time for me to go do whatever it is I do when I'm not making these videos.
Lost Soul Aside, that Lost Soul Aside, that don't look crazy. So man, let's go ahead and talk about this other one, bruh. 10 games that deserve the Oblivion remastered treatment. See now, with this Oblivion, y'all opening a can of worms. Even worse, we already got mad remakes, right? But y'all opening a can of worms talking about is this fire is hot, bro. I didn't even check on Oblivion because it's not even a remake, it's a remaster, like the Dark Souls remaster. The joint was fire. I mean, the Dark Souls remake was fire, but when it's a remaster, it's just prettied up and not even, you know what I mean? So they saying that people think, hold on, welcome back to Next Gen Console Watch this week episode. Oh, okay, yeah, it's something we gotta watch. Does Oblivion, no, it don't deserve the next generation. Whatever, man. But now they trying to remake Fallout 3 and all type of games, bro. Man, y'all just want to play the same games over and over, bro.
That could do well to receive the remastered treatment. That's coming up right after these messages on this week's Next Gen Console Watch. Watch our show following everything happening with the latest gaming hardware. I'm Damon Hatfield, and this week I'm joined by Ryan McCaffrey, host of podcast on
the groundwork to do the same thing with
bro. That Fallout 3 was so boring, bro. That game was boring. Boring as hell, bro. But anyway, I'm not going too deep into this, bro. I'll let y'all play Oblivion, but I ain't feeling this Oblivion shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Tell the truth, I'm not really even a big fan of Bethesda games. I don't know. It's all this, a reading session, big reading session. Yeah, it just ain't for me. Yeah, next topic. But look at this. Which one of these games would you like to see remastered? Now, first off, I'm just really interested to see what the results are going to be first off. And I want to see how many people voted on this. So, which ones would you like remade? Which one of these games would you like recycled? Halo 3, it was okay. Arkham Trilogy, it just came out. Deus Ex, I never played that game, but it was first person. I wasn't really feeling that. Burnout 3, LA Noire, where you got to see if people lying. The lying session, where you got to look in people's eyes. Man, I'm gonna just say Batman, bro. Fallout 3 got the most. Man, bro, y'all love them old, boring reading. And you know what the funny part about that whole thing is, bro? Y'all don't even be in the chats like that and in the games like that when it be a game like that, a long game like that. People don't even have attention spans like that nowadays, and they got the nerve to talk about Fallout 3. I'm done, bro. No, it's not the game of the year. But anyway, the GameStop situation is nuts. Let's check out my boy RGT, bro.
Pinned comment to the gaming portion. Just want to give a quick update on my stepdad. He's not really sleeping, but now on to the video games. So,
shit, I might have to get YouTube Premium.
We're talking about video games today. We're talking about Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. And for many people, pre-orders were not a problem. For some people, they were a problem, you know. But with this sort of situation, you do get sometimes.
I got a question for RGT, and we know it's not going to get answered. Did RGT cop the Switch? That's my question. Did he? Did RGT cop the Switch? I don't watch his videos like that, but I got that question. Did RGT cop the Switch? Please, somebody tell me. Somebody please tell me in the comments. Please.
Places that want to take advantage of people and take advantage of these sort of situations. We've seen it time and time again with things like scalpers and stuff like that, but you never really tend to see it too much, or at least it's not talked about too much with actual video game stores. But in this case, we have an instance of a GameStop way overstepping their boundaries, and I kind of want to talk about this situation because I actually know the person that this involves. You've probably seen him on Wood's channel, Beat 'em Ups. You might have seen
GameStop always overstepping boundaries. When I come in there, bruh, before all the GameStops closed in my area, right? Like a lot of GameStops, like 5 or 6 of them closed in my area at once, right? So I'm like wondering, and I was gonna do a video on it, like dang, all the GameStop's closed, but I didn't do a video. Lo and behold, like a couple weeks later, I saw that GameStop is trading their actual GameStop stores for Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I don't mean to say it like a negative thing, but they're trading it for Bitcoin. But the last thing I saw, bruh, in GameStop when I went in there, a guy came in there with a fresh, I mean, it was so new, PlayStation 2, my bad, PlayStation 5 Slim. PlayStation 5 Slim, you know, the one that came out before the Pro. New, bruh, the man said, I can't offer you, it's not going to be up to 200. You're not going to offer him 200. Them joints was going for like 400 off top when they first came out, I think. Like, you can't even offer the man 200. That's why GameStop be just disrespecting it, man. All right, man, let's check this out, man. See what GameStop did now.
Seen him on Bob's channel, Wolf Den. You might have seen him at a convention, but this situation of a GameStop in Astoria is very interesting, and they're trying to like make it right and stuff like that, but I'm not quite sure like how you would actually be able to do that. So here is Elia, the guy with the hair. You know, like I said, you've probably seen him before at, you know, on people's videos or at conventions and stuff like that. He got married recently, so congratulations on that. Hope everything goes well with that. Hope you got a prenup, buddy. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This is just jokes. I'm just someone who worries a little bit. Hope you got the prenup. Anyways, though, you know, he's a successful individual, successful person. He was not having luck with GameStop's website, so he decided, all right, I'm going to this GameStop in Astoria. I don't know anything about Astoria. I don't think it's like super far from me, but I do know that Emir has a song called Bars in Astoria. So that's kind of my Astoria knowledge here.
Yo, I told y'all that it was gonna be hotcakes. Y'all ain't want to listen. Y'all ain't want to listen, did y'all? It was gonna be hotcakes. All y'all people lined up in this, line. Y'all should have been on my live stream, bro. But nah, y'all too busy trolling my channel and all that. Yo, listen, y'all should have been on my stream. Y'all could have copped. We could all cop together. You could have been at, yeah, I mean, now they gotta worry about it going up to $800 and all that, bro. Like, come on. So let's see.
But here he is waiting in the line, and then things kind of got interesting here. So this GameStop is forcing you to buy bundles, cases, screen protectors, etc. They're claiming that they can't process the SKU just for the console, but we all know what's going on here.
All right, in case somebody late to the party, yes, GameStop has been doing that. Even with the PlayStation, when they see something's hotcakes, they like, yo, y'all can't just buy the system. You got to buy that and the game. They got game bundles with 2 controllers. You know, it got to come with the game with it. Like, that's how GameStop do, bro. GameStop, they ain't playing. They ain't playing, bro. They ain't playing about the cheese. They want their money, and that's how they doing. Always got to buy a bundle, bro. It's been like that since the PlayStation 5. Whenever GameStop knows something is hotcakes, yeah, it's going down.
Here. Personally, I want Donkey Kong and the screen protector, so it isn't a big deal, but others are leaving. So basically what they're doing is they are forcing bundles upon people just to pre-order the system, which makes absolutely no sense to someone like you or me, because obviously they just want people to pre-order the system. But if you know anything about how GameStop operates, you know, they're not making money on the console.
All right, we don't want to hear that, man. But what was he saying before? I forgot.
Sense to someone like you or me, because obviously they just want people to pre-order the system. Buyers are leaving. So basically what they're doing is they are forcing bundles upon people just to
They not forcing nobody to do nothing. You don't got to cop it, bro. You don't got to get it. Don't get it if that's the case. You don't got to get it, bro. They're not forcing nothing on nobody. They not forcing people, and they definitely not forcing people to go in there and spend $800, $900 on the, what do you call it, the resale, the Switch. Like, come on, bro. Like, that resale is ridiculous on the Switch, and everybody running and paying it. I told people, yo, $450 ain't bad. $450 ain't bad. Now you got added bundles and all that. You know what I mean? You spending $700-800, bro, and $450 definitely ain't bad for a PS5 type of system. So GameStop is forcing bundles allegedly, but they're not forcing you to do nothing, in my opinion. But GameStop got bundles. That's the only way you're getting it. And I bet you any amount of money, all of them gone. I bet. We ain't even gotta go look. Anyway, as promised, let's see what Rich from USA, Rich Review, you know, ReviewTechUSA. His channel's called Rich Tomorrow now. Okay, let's check out one of these Nintendo. My gripes with the Nintendo Switch. There we go. 11 days ago.
Yes, I have gripes with the Nintendo Switch too. I have a decent amount of them. I'm not a fanboy of the console, and I'm not a fanboy of Nintendo. So I'm going to tell you what my problems are with the Switch too. Do I have snots in my nose? All right, maybe a little bit, but now you won't see them anymore. I'm not re-editing that intro. It's like the 5th time I did it.
Breasts.
So the Nintendo Switch 2 is being released June 5th globally. It's going to come in 2 delicious flavors. Well, depending how you feel about the price, it may not be too delicious to you. There's going to be the base vanilla bundle, which is just going to give you the console, and it's going to be $450. Or you could spend $499 and get the Mario Kart World bundle, which gives you the game and the console. That's going to be a limit.
Yo, bro, if Rich deleted ReviewTechUSA, he deleted that channel with 1 million channels and he's still doing videos over here. I don't get it. I like Rich's videos. These just pretty good, but
bundle,
damn,
and
bro.
if you want to get Mario Kart World later on, it's going to be $80 US. Whereas if you just get it in the bundle, it's just $50 more. That's the way they incentivize you to spend more money on the more expensive bundle. We'll go more into game pricing later. But there are some things, as much as I've shown a lot of love for the Switch 2 and I'm excited for it, there are things that concern me about it. And I've made a list over here, and I want to get into them because I do have gripes about Nintendo's next console. It's not all roses and ass cheeks. I probably should have used a better term instead of that, but we'll go with ass cheeks for now. So the first thing I want to talk about is the requirement for the Switch 2 if you want to expand the storage. The Switch 2 is going to have 256 gigabytes of internal storage, which sounds like a lot more than the base Switch, which has 32 gigabytes, and the Switch OLED, which has 64 gigabytes. But
32 gigs, I can't even fit one game in there, bro. If this is gonna have a decent Call of Duty port, ain't Call of Duty like 200 something gigs? How is it gonna?
256 gigabytes is going to be eaten up real fast if games are 80 plus gigabytes for the Switch 2. So you're going to need to expand the storage. And what Nintendo said, and the requirement for the Switch 2 is micro SD express cards. You can't just get a $89 1 terabyte micro SD card off Amazon anymore. You have to get the newer express cards with much faster read and write speeds. For example, if you look for a 1 terabyte card on Amazon, the read speed for it is 190 megabytes per second. The write speed is only 90 megabytes per second. And there's no way you're running big open world games on the Switch 2.
Okay, so that kind of partly answers my question. I was wondering how the Switch 2 was gonna run, because you know cartridges have always done worse than CDs in the history of all games. They've always done worse than CDs. So I was wondering, so basically they have better cards, it sounds like. Basically they got better cards, I guess. I don't know. Let's look at this video though, because I want to see Yo, what's good? This the Mad Gamer back with another one. Thank you. Machine learning to upscale lower resolution images in real time, enhancing both performance and image quality in games. Now this is what I wanted to look at here, right? Yo, what's good? This the Mad Gamer back.
It's only when you put them against the PlayStation 1 version that you notice that some sacrifices were made.
Yo, what's good? This the man. I know the PlayStation and the Xbox, they take port literally. How did Resident Evil 2 manage to fit on a single Nintendo 64 cartridge?
Released originally for the Sony PlayStation, the game came on 2 CDs with 2 separate characters to play through as.
64 cartridge.
Released originally for the Sony PlayStation, the game came on 2 CDs with 2 separate characters to play through as. Each character has 2 scenarios which can be unlocked when you complete the game the first time round. These scenarios unlocks events from the other character's perspective. The game was a smash hit. It sold 380,000 copies during opening weekend and grossed $19 million. The game.
Yo, how did they I gotta look at that Resident Evil 2 on the GameCube.
Nintendo 64. But if there's one port that stands out.
But how did they mess that?
It was a port for the Nintendo GameCube of Resident Evil 2. Wow, we learned together here on this channel.
Released almost 2 years from the original PlayStation 1 version, Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64 is a technical masterpiece. Somehow, the entire game, with both Leon and Claire's gameplay, including full motion video movies, music and audio, were all compressed down to fit in a 64 megabyte cartridge. This was achieved by Angel Studios, a team of 9 developers with a budget of $1 million. It's only when you put them against the PlayStation 1 version that you notice that some sacrifices were made. What's also interesting about the Nintendo 64 is that there's no dedicated video decoding hardware for full motion video. It was all done in software.
And now, as y'all see,
Wow.
I said
That's crazy, bro. But anyway, let's get back to that. Yo, where'd that rich review from? Where'd that rich review? Yo, where'd the rich review go? Man, hold up, man. Hold up real quick, y'all.
what?
All right, we back at it, bro. I don't know what the hell happened. I gotta look at my history about this. To that rich review tech video. Where's that? There we go. That video is pretty
Yes,
good.
I
so
have
far.
gripes with the Nintendo Switch 2. I have a decent amount of them. I'm not a fan of big open world games on this Switch 2 off of such a slow card. Now, if you go to sandisk.com, which I'm looking at here right now, if you get a micro SD Express card, which is $72 for 256 gigabytes, which is not that much, you get much faster read and write performance. For sequential read, it's 880 megabytes per second. And for sequential write performance, it's 650 megabytes per second. That's a big jump from the other speeds that I mentioned before. Now, the reason I bring this up, I understand why Nintendo is doing it. It's necessary for these more demanding, bigger games that are going to be on the Switch 2. But the average consumer doesn't understand. They're like, what the hell? I could go to Amazon right now and get a 1 terabyte card for $90, and you want me to for
okay, so we're gonna have to buy. So we're gonna have to buy for every 256 megabytes. We're gonna have to spend. There we go. For every 256 megabytes, we're gonna have to sit here and spend $80. Wow.
Like, where does it end? Where does it end?
Know what bowling is, know what baseball is. And, you know, my
Nintendo president of America takes issue with them charging for Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. And this is what he had to say.
You have a few Miyamoto stories, and one of the ones that
Yo, with them charging with this beginning game, that's kind of crazy. That's like them charging for Wii Sports or something. But it depends on how good of a game it was. Now, Wii U Sports, that was like considered a classic. You know what I mean? A classic, yeah. And it probably would have never been considered a classic if it would have been charged. You know what I mean? Because nobody probably would have bought it like that. But we'll see. Let's see what they're talking about.
that stood out to me was during the debate over whether or not to pack in Wii Sports with the Wii, and Miyamoto pushed back pretty hard against that, and it was quite the. It was like,
yo, I told you, bruh. I'm like a Gamstradamus in this, bruh. You seen what I was just talking about, me? You see, I said what I said.
one of the biggest points of discussion, and kind of one of the bigger wins for you.
Yeah, it's an understatement to say that Mr. Miyamoto pushed back. During the development of the Wii and the Wii Sports software, again, the goal was, we wanted this system to be attractive not only to the most active players but to new players, and to bring them into the video gaming experience. And we saw Wii Sports as the way to be able to do that, because each of these sports made great use of the Wii Remote. Each sport was known by a global population, right? People know what golf is, they know what bowling is, they know what baseball is. My recommendation was that we pack Wii Sports in with the hardware.
Now, what I find amazing is that, think about it, Reggie is a pretty professional guy, right? And he's talking about how it was an understatement saying that he had a fallout with Shigeru Miyamoto. I almost feel like there was probably a screaming match when Reggie and Shigeru were talking on the phone, because Shigeru Miyamoto thinks that Wii Sports should have cost money and Reggie didn't. He's like, that should be a pack-in game. And Reggie shared this interview that he had with IGN to say, hey, we included Wii Sports with the Wii, and the Wii was a huge success. The Nintendo Wii sold 101 million units, and many would argue, including me, that Wii Sports wasn't, yes, it was a tech demo showing what they could do with the motion controls for the Wii, but it was more than a tech demo. That was a game, okay? That was a fairly fun game, but nonetheless, it was a game that showcased what the Wii could do. Has moved on from non-replaceable batteries, but there's absolutely no excuse for the Nintendo Switch 2 battery and the Nintendo Switch battery to not be replaceable. Now, when it comes to devices like smartphone,
nah, you're not ripping it apart. Rich want to rip the whole system apart. Hell no, bro. Hell no. But yo, I saw the anyway. Next subject, yo, I seen this little contraption. This joint looked interesting. Windows for the Game Boy. Now, is it just certain games or what? Man, Windows for the Game Boy, bro. This shit is crazy.
It's for the Game Boy. It's by Ruben Retro, and as soon as I saw this thing existed, I had to have it. This is amazing. I love stuff like this. Let's have a look at the back, see what we've got. Oh, look, it's actually in color. What are the system requirements? A Game Boy Color or a compatible console. Okay, so it's for the Game Boy Color. I guess we won't be using this guy then. We need some batteries for your console and enough time to use the app. Have you ever had the weird craving to enjoy Windows on a Game Boy? Well, no, not until I saw this thing existed, and then yes? Well, you're in luck, because GBS Windows is a fun tribute app to the wonderful Windows 3.1 from the 90s. Play the legendary Minesweeper again on your Game Boy. Well, that's assuming you have played it.
Minesweeper, I did not understand that game, bro. I still don't understand it to this day, but it was one of the first computer games I played.
Before, and I have, so that's correct. Or try another arcade-style defense game. Oh, alright, I will do that as well. Relax by drawing with the Paint app and bring your creations to life if you have a GB print. Oh, it supports the printer. Look, options GB printer. And I have got a GB printer, so we will be GB printing. With the Media app, you can listen to some music samples courtesy of the legendary BeatScribe. Wait, BeatScribe or BeatScribe? I feel like I want to say BeatScribe, but there's no C in there. It's BeatScribe. You can even keep the music playing while using other apps. Actually, I really like that feature. That's cool. Feel the nostalgia by playing the piano with a tribute app to the childhood model Casio PT10.
What?
I don't know what a PT10 is. I'm going to look it up because I did have a Casio as a kid.
You got a beat maker inside that joint?
Go-getters, early morning risers, helping build the...
This joint is going to be crazy. We got to look at this joint right here.
Oh, it's close. It's not exactly what I had, but I'm sure it's going to sound just like what I remember.
He still got
this
his
package
Casio.
Contains a 2.2-inch Game Boy cartridge. That's a really nice touch, actually. Back in the early days of Windows, when you got a package with floppy disks, the box used to say which size floppy disks were on the front. Also, makes your GB cooler to use, which means it's definitely nothing like Windows. What do we get in the box? We get a cartridge. And we get a cartridge. That's it. That's all we get. I love that this is a black cartridge with a white label. This is exactly what a Windows floppy disk would have looked like. Disk format, mask ROM, 512 kilobytes. Ooh, is it a mask ROM though? Or is it a flash ROM? We will see later. A mask ROM can be programmed once and then it's stuck with that data forever. I suspect that this cartridge is probably going to have a flash ROM in it. It seems to be more common amongst homebrew Game Boy games nowadays. Oh, wow. I hope I have to do this. Type CD Windows and press enter. Type Win and press enter. This is actually how you had to run Windows back in the 3.1 days. You turned on your computer, you got up a text dialog, and that's it. If you wanted Windows to boot from there, you had to type Win and then press enter.
I want to see if you got to do that.
Locked out the power switch by having no notch here. It may give us an error message, or it may work. This game can only be played on Game Boy Color. But anyway, you can still play a game of press start. What?
Oh.
You can still play Minesweeper.
Wow.
I'm trying to adjust the contrast here.
That's crazy right there.
So straight away, I found an Easter egg where if you put it in a normal Game Boy, you can still play Minesweeper, even though you can't really see very well because the picture is awful.
Yo, we learning so much about games on this channel, bro. It is ridiculous.
Why not work? There we go. The power switch is a bit dodgy. Mega, it's booting. It's doing the boot stuff. I
Wow.
love this.
Wow.
Oh, I can press anything to type CD Windows. I just have to mash buttons and it boots. Look
That's
at this.
funny.
This is so good. Oh, it had a startup sound. Hey, hey. 4.19 megahertz. Yeah, that's the CPU speed. This is actually exactly what Windows 3.1 looked like back in the day. File. I don't want to exit. Wait, maybe I do want to exit. What happens? Oh, it's restarting. Help? Oh, it is Beat Scribe. Oh no! They made a typo on the box. Help? Music?
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't work yet. Help?
Let's see if we can get some beats on there. See what beats you get.
Does sound Mega Man-esque. Again, haven't played a lot of the original Mega Man. Seaside. Aren't those waves relaxing? Free.
Yeah, that joint is mean. Yo, it was another YouTuber went to reorder. Nintendo Switches are live. You see, look at this, bro. I wanted to show y'all this. Bruh. Pre-order Nintendo Switch, 136K. It was only a couple people who ordered the Switch live. And look who was one of them. Hell yeah. All right, man, let's check out Roscoe, see if Roscoe got it.
That's one way to do it, but that sucks if you just like want to jump into it and you never owned a Switch. So that's a positive and a negative. They're not really attracting anybody new, but it is what it is.
Did he get it or no?
Yeah, hard for new and on. You've been saying you want to punch your computer. Dude, the computer's been pissing me off, man.
Them boys ain't get it.
Pissing me off.
Them boys ain't get
Best
it.
Buy local pickup. Is there? I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah, Best Buy is doing 12 a.m.
Time expired. Time expired. Walmart EZW right now? Yes. Just caught that Best Buy online bundle hype. There you go, eat. Nice.
Man, let's see if they really got
so many
it.
people are over an hour later, dude. An hour later, people are still getting W's. That's crazy.
Man, I don't know about that.
Thanks, guys. I'll see some of you guys tomorrow morning. Nice.
Did he get it or what?
All right. It definitely could, man. Like, a lot of people are having success tonight. A lot of people are having success.
Allegedly. Yo,
Walmart
bro.
app straight through.
I don't be believing certain people, bro. I don't be like people in the chat. Oh yeah, I got a W. I got 3 of them. Yeah, I got 3 Nintendo Switches. All right, so let's look at this video. It says don't buy the Nintendo Switch.
You're getting after
See
your
what they're
fitness
talking
goals.
about.
But what about those money goals?
I don't need an intro for this. Nintendo is an awful company. They have truly become the purest form of cancer in this entire industry, and here's why. Charging $80 for a video game isn't just ridiculous, but it's dangerous. It's setting a precedent for games to cost more and more sooner and sooner. It couldn't possibly be any more anti-consumer. Nobody gives this company enough credit for how scummy they actually are and have been.
Yeah, man. So, bro, don't people realize that games are $70, bro? And don't people realize that once a download content or anything goes onto the game, you paying more than $80? I don't know, man. I don't know. We ain't gonna go into that. So until
No matter how you travel, it's good to have a plan.
Dawn movie
Some
isn't
people
good.
plan
Let's see
every minute.
what they talking
I
about.
don't think anyone out there is surprised to hear that the Until Dawn movie is not good. But I do think you'll be surprised to hear that I'm getting a little haircut soon. Nothing like drastic or anything, just trimming some of the dead ends, which I haven't done in a long time. But anyway, about the Until Dawn movie, from the very first trailer it was clear this is going to have pretty much nothing in common with the game that it's based on. I've been screaming it and creaming it till I've been blue in the dick, but if you're going to be making a live-action adaptation of a video game, you've got to at least try and make it somewhat respectful to the source material. There's endless examples to pull from of movies and shows that completely miss the mark because they just decide that they know what's best for the property and have no idea what the game that it's based on is even about, like the Halo TV series. I'm not here to just regurgitate that. I only mention that because Until Dawn falls victim to the same thing here. However, I will say, to this movie's credit, the concept they come up with, while not really present in the game, is still a fun idea, where these characters, they go into this spooky house and they've got to survive until dawn, and they just keep getting killed over and over and over again, and they try and piece together the mystery while trying to survive the night so they can finally break the loop.
Yeah, that Until Dawn look horrible, bro. But the thing about that Until Dawn movie and with gaming movies in general, if you remember, bro, back in the day, gaming movies were not popular. You know what I'm saying? It was not popular. It was more like a comedic take on gaming movies. And now, like, you know, certain gaming movies could come out and do good. Like Borderlands, I don't think Borderlands did too good, but that Minecraft did real good. They trashing the movie theaters behind that Minecraft. Let me see. Minecraft. Yeah, bro, they like go through and like trash the theaters.
We're in the
afterwards.
middle of Minecraft movie madness. It's sweeping like the boob.
I mean, it's not funny, but dang. Oh, they going crazy. Where'd the rooster come from? Chicken jockey. Where did the rooster come from, bro?
I'm sure you've all been seeing the clips, and I'm tardy to the party here because I was just gonna not bother talking about it because I sound like such a Scrooge here because I fucking hate it. Like, bringing the live chicken in, going ballistic, throwing popcorn, confetti. There was one where people were puking on the floor, throwing soda. Another one where they body slammed one of the employees. Cops getting called because of this kind of shit from just, like, fighting in the theater because of chicken jockey. I hate all of it. It's the perfect storm of things I can't stand all coming together and bubbling over in this foul fucking cauldron at Minecraft movie showings multiple times per week. It's like,
but yeah, the Minecraft movie is doing real good. The Minecraft movie is doing crazy good. Wow. But people throwing soda on the floor and throwing up? Jesus. All right, now we're gonna take a look at this Days Gone remastered PS5 Pro graphic comparison, man. Let's see how this joint is looking, bro. Cause yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure. I know I wasn't buying that joint. I know I wasn't buying this game again. Well, actually, I was because they had a horde mode. But I know in the end of the game, that's all you got to do is the horde mode. So, nah, I'm not gonna buy it again.
Pro to good use than to dive back into the zombie freaker motorcycle adventure. Days Gone Remastered features 3 graphics modes on the PS5 Pro: Enhanced, Performance, and Quality. Regardless, it's worth noting that all these graphics modes will output at 4K, and you may notice some difference in textures and lighting between every mode. Outside of general visual improvements over the PS4 version of the game, Enhanced mode features a resolution of 1584p with a 4K output thanks to PSSR and a target of 60 frames per second. Quality mode features the best looking visuals with a resolution of 2880p, but at the cost of frame rate with a target of 30 FPS. And finally, Performance mode has a 60 FPS target frame rate, but only has a resolution of 1080p. So, which one do you prefer?
Listen, man, I am so confused about this. How are we still, bro? I didn't understand that about the PS5 Pro when I was playing it too. Bro, why are we still picking performance and graphic mode and quality and bro, I thought all that was over. I thought when I turned on the PS5 Pro, I was supposed to have graphic mode and, you know, and on performance mode all in one. That was supposed to be the thing about the PS5 Pro. Now we're picking. Bro, we not doing this. That's what we not doing. Come on, man. All right. So this Double Dragon, bro, I seen it, but I think I don't know if I wanted to do a video on it or what, but I did see the Double Dragon. I wanted to take a look at it, see what it's looking like, but it ain't coming out till like the end of the year. I just don't know what so much preparation is for a 2D game, but let's see, bro. And it's coming to PS4. Jesus. All right, bro.
You got some fight to ya. Perfect for the experiments. It's really not personal, but this is where I bring you down. Oh, you have no idea what you just stepped into. Right out of the park! All right, get him, boys!
Well now, you must be the Lee brothers. Let's see if your Sosetskin lives up to the hype.
This is a casino.
This game remind me of more of Final Fight than Streets of Rage. I've always been a Streets of Rage fan more than Final Fight, but let's finish this.
I shall take your heads as a gift for him.
This is my ring. You ain't getting through till you put me down for the 3 count. I need more than that. Come on, give me someone worth fighting.
It's trying to look kind of crazy.
End of the line, punks.
Yo, it look like it's a lot of bosses on this joint. Damn.
These days, might is the only measure of a ruler. I'll use my army of dragon vein-infused soldiers to take over this land.
Yeah, you know I'm gonna be on this joint.
Under me.
It is time we settle this. The only way this ends is with one side lying on the ground. Face me. Let's see just what you're capable of.
Yeah, that joint don't look bad, bro. I'm gonna definitely cop this joint. When they said this joint October, that's what, see what I'm saying? They said that joint was coming out to the end of the year, so not really on my radar. Okay, so Deadly Quiet got some gameplay, bro. Let's go ahead and check this joint out. But that Double Dragon, man, I think I might cop it. That joint just sold me a little. That joint is looking pretty clean. I ain't gonna lie. And you know, Streets of Rage is my joint, bro. They got a new Streets of Rage coming out too. The joint's gonna be fire. Oh, this game. I wanted to see the gameplay on this joint.
One of us make a sound.
No, I had to put it on. Oh my god, that joint looks.
One of us make a sound, we're all down, man. Yo, I swear, I just heard breathing over there. What's that?
No,
I'm stuck. I'm actually stuck. It says the amount. Yeah, I know. It's right there.
Why do we always have to play this at night, bro? Why?
Very bad, very bad. If you can lower it here, we can.
Y'all tell me if y'all into them type of games, like say for instance like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the joint that came out, bro. I thought Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I thought that would be more nice on a as a like a single player joint, you know what I mean, instead of the one player where you got to chase everybody around. I ain't really ever been a big fan of those. I think one of the first games that came out was called Evolve, a game called Evolve. It was like a little monster that evolved and you had to constantly hunt it down. Then the Alien came out, then the Predator one came out, then Texas Chain, you know, all them type of joint. But the one versus all, I'm not really a fan of that mechanic. But anyway, now check this out, y'all. Skate will require an always on internet connection. Now, I'm not sure why Skate. I don't know why Skate would always require that. You know what I'm saying? Because Skate seems like, you know what I mean, a game that you just plug it in and play. But I don't know. But what this Claire Obscure, bruh, is this game nice, bruh? This Claire Obscure, because I keep hearing that is fire. It's in like game of the year contingent, and I did like a video on it on my channel. It did look nice, but it was turn based, and I'm not really a fan of turn based. I bought a couple turn based. I bought that Metaphor turn based, and I never finished playing. Let's see what they're talking about.
Now we've been going for, I don't even know, 45 minutes, something like that. Let's talk about the other big RPG out this week that's brand new, that's a different flavor of RPG. It's more sort of JRPG styled, turn-based, and it's new, it's original, it's from a small team, and Michael Hyam, you say it is amazing, because that's what we say a 9 out of 10 means on IGN is amazing. 10 is masterpiece, 9's amazing, 8's great, and you're firmly in the amazing camp. Please tell us why.
Oh boy, well, I wrote over 2,000 words on hit video game website IGN.com, so I'd appreciate if y'all read the review or watched it on YouTube, because a lot of Tom Marks, our reviews editor, was clutch in helping get that right on the site. Pat Coughlin, our video producer, put our video review together. He did an amazing job with that one.
Bro, the game does look nice. Like the way the graphics look, that joint do look nice. It look real. And like, you know what I mean? Just the animation of it look nice. Woo. Yeah, it's just that turn-based, bro. I wonder if it got an option like Final Fantasy, that new Final Fantasy got an option to where you could switch the turn, if it's turn-based or not. You know what I mean? You could switch it.
It's to its end, and I think taking a step back from like the actual game itself and like the ins and outs of how the game works and plays, I think I'm just impressed by its clarity of.
Bro, that game, bro, I might have to play that game, but that turn base is killing me, bro. I would rather play this Obscure than what's that game? The Oblivion. I'll tell you that much. I would rather play that Obscure, because that Obscure and that shit got a crazy premise. So let's take a look at this. Sony pulls first party PS3 games, Resistance, Fall of Man, Resistance 2 as part of big plea. Okay, so they cleared out a lot of stuff. I did notice those Resistance on it. You know what I mean? I did, but I just never played them. Look at all these games leaving. Oh, they made sure they took they got MotoGP 24 on there? May 20th. Oh, say, okay, so I still got time. Look at all these games. Look at these lists. Grand Theft Auto 5, MotoGP 24, The Sims 4, Resistance Fall of Man, Resistance 2, Walkabout Mini Golf, Synth Riders, Ghostbusters Rise of Ghost Lord. Like, dang, all these joints is getting out of here? PlayStation, they planning something, bro. They planning something, bro. I told you on my video about that PlayStation Portal, how it wasn't working from the house. No, it wasn't working when you were away from the house no more, only in the house. I told people, yo, I bought it under the assumption that I could bring this, this device anywhere. Now it stopped working. Then now PlayStation got a new joint coming out that's a handheld. So I told them, but PlayStation got something going on. They ain't really saying it. You know what I mean? But all right, so let's see this. The Bethesda dev declares a winner in Elder Scrolls Remastered. Oh shoot. So this is the worst face. Yeah. Look at crazy faces. I mean, I guess, man, that Oblivion, bro, they hyping that game so bad. They hyping that game so bad. They hyping that Oblivion up crazy. They saying it's the best game of the year and all that. Like, I don't know. Not in my opinion. So I think that's gonna be it, y'all. I mean, I just put up a video about Spine. Right now we're playing that Kazan. I'm trying to finish that Kazan, and I'm also gonna be going in on that Rise of Rebellion, bro. This joint right here. I cannot wait to play this game, bro. But I gotta finish that Kazan first. I got the last boss. Yo, these live streams gonna be coming rapid at y'all. Thanks for watching, and shit, holla at me, man. Holla at me.